Welcome back to BS Sports Talk, NFL Week 1 losers.
Yep.
Let's jump right into it.
Yep, got some big names on this list here. So
My boy,
first up, your boy James Conner.
James Conner.
Why is he a loser this week?
Again, James Conner's problem, the man doesn't stay healthy.
Got to be on the field.
He's just, and when he was on the field, Benny Snell looked like the better running back.
Look good. Look really good.
He just had more burst. He had more pop.
Yep.
James Conner's just not on the field anymore.
Yep.
I'm a James Conner believer. I buy into James Conner stock every year. Part of it, I think, I just love the story of James Conner.
Yep. But this year, I said, just look out. Benny Snell's there waiting in the wings.
Jalen Samuels, Anthony McFarland's there. I think the longer James Conner's off the field, the less time that this will be his job.
Yep. All right, next up, Leonard Fournette.
Leonard Fournette.
Yep. Hey, that's the loser, man, switching those
Absolutely.
teams.
Yep.
Given it was his first week with the team,
right.
he just moved to that team. But Rojo looks good.
Rojo looked very good.
I definitely don't see a scenario to where Leonard Fournette comes in and takes all the carries and they don't utilize
I don't see a 50-50 scenario.
No.
I 65-35 at best, and Leonard Fournette's really got to produce with that 35.
Yep.
When he did run the ball, I didn't see anything that set him apart.
Right.
Ronald Jones ran the ball well, caught the ball well, pass protected well, and an offense that is finding its footing. Ronald Jones knows the system. I just don't think look, they're going to use Leonard Fournette. They paid him. They brought him in. Football-wise, makes great sense. Fantasy-wise, doesn't. I don't see any value for you right now.
Yep. All right, next up, Cam Akers.
Man.
Malcolm Brown stealing the show.
Stole that thunder.
I really think, the Rams, picked Akers up thinking, hey, maybe he's the guy. We're getting rid, of Gurley.
Walk.
We don't know, with Henderson and Brown, if they're going to take over. Brown's making a statement saying, hey.
Malcolm Brown is letting Cam Akers and the rest of the world know.
Yep.
This is my job. This is his spot. And honestly, I see it being his spot until he gives reason for it not to be his spot.
I think it's his job to lose.
Absolutely.
I think he's established himself. He's the guy. Akers and Henderson will get mixed in every once in a while, but I think most of the carries go to Malcolm Brown.
70-30 share. Honestly, Malcolm Brown is going to dominate that backfield. Look, Malcolm Brown was good in relief of Gurley last year.
Yeah.
Malcolm Brown's a player. I'm not saying cut Cam Akers. If you have a deep bench, if you're dynasty, Cam Akers is not somebody I say give up on right away.
Exactly.
Injury could happen to Brown, Henderson. Then you're looking at Cam Akers as a potential nice option down the road.
Yep. All right, next up, Austin Eckler.
Oh,
Big surprise. I did not think after week one.
Shouldn't be on our week one losers list, for sure.
Yeah, but interesting usage.
Yeah. Horrible usage.
Yeah, I think he had one target. He had the 18 or 19 rushes, not a bad yards per carry.
Yeah.
But 9.7 fantasy points.
I don't want to see and I don't want to see Austin Eckler running the ball 18 times though. My value for Austin Eckler, if you're in PPR format, you want catches.
Yep.
If you're in standard format, I don't. Austin Eckler's tough. Because you're used to him being a pass-catching back.
That's why you drafted him.
It's why he's there. I don't know that a Tyrod Taylor offense is conducive with checkdowns and things like that. Plus, Joshua Kelly looked good, too.
Looked real good.
12 carries, 60 yards, and a touchdown. I don't know that Austin Eckler holds up running the ball 18 times a game between the tackles.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him split out a little bit more. Tyrod needs to do some checkdowns. There's some changes that I would like to see to his usage. Definitely needs back involved in the pass game because I feel like that's where he adds value to teams.
Yeah, I think probably the best case scenario for Austin Eckler owners right now is for Joshua Kelly to step up, take over that Melvin Gordon role, and get Eckler back in them passing situations coming out of the slot because that's where he's going to provide the value.
I think if you're an Austin Eckler fan, your biggest hope is they start Herbert sometime soon. I like Tyrod, don't get me wrong, but Tyrod, again, I just don't see him converting to checking the ball down. It's just never been his thing. But it's a situation to monitor. Don't panic. Give it a couple more weeks. But I'm not saying sell or anything like that. I just think week one, you draft him to be your RB1 into the first, early second. You expect more out of him. Just a situation to monitor.
Yep. All right, next up, Kerryon Johnson.
Who?
So,
my
Kerryon
gosh.
who? So it was already he was already
Yes.
kind of behind the 8 ball to start the season
Yep.
with the addition of Swift.
They brought Swift in to replace him, I feel like.
And then I think it kind of says something to where
Yep.
they felt like they were at even with Swift bringing in AP.
Yeah, man. They comes in his walker. I mean, the man's 55
His
years
electric
old.
scooter.
Like, yeah, and he comes in and he leads the backfield in carries.
And looked good.
Looked
good.
really
looked
good.
explosive.
Looked-
Looked quick.
I mean, 14 carries. Kerryon had 3. Hey, DeAndre Swift, case of those, couldn't catch that touchdown winning pass.
Yep.
More plays like that, you're going to see more Adrian Peterson. I don't think there's any reason to keep Kerryon Johnson on your roster.
No, I think in every format, leave Kerryon Johnson off. There are better options
Absolutely.
out there. All right, last but not least, big name, Ingram.
Mark Ingram.
Man, I think big time loser. 10
I agree.
carries.
I agree.
20-something yards.
Yes.
The end zone carries went to
to
Dobbins.
Dobbins.
Edwards looked good. Edwards outrushed everybody.
Had the most yards on the team.
Yeah.
Out of the running
Out of the
backs.
running backs.
I don't see where Mark Ingram's role is because coming into a shortened offseason, you wouldn't think Dobbins would be the one taking the goal line touches. You would think Ingram would be who they relied on early, and it wasn't the case. Ingram saw 10 carries, sure. Dobbins was 7. Gus was somewhere in that ballpark.
Yep.
It's a situation to for sure monitor. I don't see starting value right now out of Ingram. Could be wrong. They
Yeah.
could revert back and Ingram gets 20 carries next week.
Yeah.
But I mean, they were down in the game, or they were up in the game to Cleveland, and still 10 carries, 20 some yards. It's just a situation to monitor. I think Gus is explosive. Dobbins stole touchdowns. You really have to, fantasy-wise, start to kind of fade out Ingram. Not saying get rid of him, but I'm just saying situation to watch.
Yep. Yeah, I think the biggest thing was his usage. If anything, we thought he was going to
Yep.
see most of his volume to start, and the other guys would,
little bit of
Dobbins would
relief.
slowly get worked in.
Yep.
Not the case.
Not at
I
all.
think it's only going to get worse for him going forward the more touches that Dobbins gets.
And the goal line's what really surprised me. I didn't expect Dobbins to be the goal line threat. I honestly thought Ingram would be down there for that. Let the fresh young legs get the carries down the field a little bit more, and then bring Ingram in to pound it home. It didn't happen. So just something interesting to watch there. I definitely do feel like the more it goes on, Ingram's never probably going to be fully out of that offense because they love him.
Right.
But his usage is not going to be what it once was.
Yep. All right, guys. That's it for NFL Week 1 losers. Thanks for stopping by, tuning
we
in.
appreciate you guys.
Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Get the notifications for us every time a video comes out.
Yep.
Make sure also in the comments, if anything you disagree with, call BS.
Come call RBS. We'll respond. We'll get back at you.
Yep.
Thank you, guys.
Yep.